This is Lone Wolf. Gonna show you how to disassemble this bad boy and install the lightning bow and the Super Sabra pack for the Tavor X95. What I'm gonna do for you as well, just in case you don't want to make the full investment, is I'm gonna actually use this shitty little trigger gauge I have, kind of show you what it's like stock with the stock trigger and the lightning bow, and then the lightning bow with the stock trigger pack, and then the Super Sabra to see kind of what you're doing. I will be adjusting both the Super Sabra and the trigger to take the slack out of the trigger once they're installed, and to get the Super Sabra to about 3.5 pounds trigger pull, because I like to play fast and fucking loose. Alright, baby boys and girls, first things first, we're gonna check clear. You see that? You see that? Oh yeah. She's empty. She's good to go. Alright, so I'm gonna see on the table, we're gonna take this, or I'm gonna test that trigger pull for y'all, and then we'll start the disassembly. Alright y'all, so this is a stock trigger pack. I'm gonna get a little sample for you. Group of 3, just to see what we're getting just as is, and like what benefits installing the Super Sabra will do with the stock trigger, the lightning bow with the stock box or stock trigger pack, and then both of these together to kind of see if you really need to spend as much as I did on these. If you want to help out with that, feel free to like and subscribe. Alright, let's see what we're doing here. Look at 616 on the first pull. It's important too to kind of, when you're doing this isn't the best trigger pull gauge. I am a poor person, but I want to help you out. So I'm going to try to find the right spot on the trigger. I also have to pull at an angle, just with this specific one. Looking at 6.24. And then, last one. .26. So you're kind of hovering around that like 6.2 pounds on the stock box. So now, before I get up in them guts and start putting in a new trigger, I'm going to take the bolt carrier group out and install the Super Sabra in there. We'll get another group of 3. Bear with me. This takes like 3.5 seconds. So. Check her out, baby. It's going to be done with a round too, so I'll just kind of show you how we're doing this. A little punch here, alright? Push her out, pop her back, charge her in the back. There she blows. Same thing with the trigger pack here. This is the bolt catch here, but also the trigger pack housing, so that's fun. Boom! See that? So now we're gonna bust into here. This is pre-greased. As I believe I said previously, I'm gonna set it, and per the instructions, like the 3.5 pull is gonna be flush with the, I'll just show you. The adjustment is right there. So when it's flush with the body, that's going to be about your 3.5. Right now, I think it's at 5.5. So bear with me while I fiddle fuck around and try to figure out exactly what Allen key it's going to be. All right, that should do her. All right, let's pop her in. So as you see in here, like you got your long leg. I don't know if you can really see inside there, but around there, there's a little divot that kind of fits that. So we're gonna install it. Just like this. Just drops right in there. Hear that click. Be sure to like close this fully before installing it, otherwise it will be all fucky. Time to put the bolt back in, get another sample of 3. instructions check it because I like to do that. Goddamn. All right, we're good to go on that. So let's see what we're pulling now, baby. Same spot again. Right there. We're looking at 5 pounds there. $5.12 and 4.74. So yeah, we're kind of looking at like around that 5 pounds with just the stock trigger and the box adjusted slightly. So, all right. So here comes the fun part. I'm gonna break. We're gonna come back and I'm gonna rip this bitch down. I'm also going to reinstall the stock box in it, so when we try the lightning bow, we just kind of get a new baseline to see the difference, because remember, stock and stock's about 6 pounds. We just dropped a pound off with just the Super Sabra. So alright, stand by for breakdown. Stock box is installed again. So now, I'm going to have to pretty much redo everything. For this, you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, your 3mm Allen key, and this super fancy smancy $15 piece from IWI proper, the barrel wrench, I suppose. So stand by, we're going to take this bad bitch apart. First thing you want to do, take this guy out. And just so you know, I most of the videos I got were from IWI, just their USA team, and I just wanted to bring a little flair to y'all. See how I care about you? Oh, you're a little bitch, huh? Alright, pull the carry group out. And eventually, after I shoot this, because the end of this video is going to be me laying waste to some shit, doing some drills for you. I'll do a actual field strip and show you like how to clean this bad bitch. Just after I've actually shot it. I've had this gun for like 2 days, so. Where you take your 3mm right into here. We're just gonna back that guy out. And then, ta-da, she comes off. I didn't take out the cotter pin here because I'm not planning on removing the gas cylinder until we have to clean it, remove carbon. So since this thing has never been fired, kind of a non-issue. So this is the fun part, and I'm gonna like really have to get interesting with the angles here. So for this, it's important to put the trigger handle to the rear so I can move this little hammerhead boy right there. Okay, so then you can remove the charging handle, put it aside, because that is a big deal. You do not want to bend this bitch. So now, well, especially when you go to like torque the barrel and stuff like that. So now, courtesy of IWI, I have the barrel wrench, which you are going to go ahead and install right there. You can see it says L&O, so locked and open. It's currently locked. Put that down here. But while you're doing that, you have to depress this. I don't really know the exact terminology, but for it, I'm going to use my little pin and hold it in a very special way. I'm going to adjust this so you can see. I'm going to push this in, right? I'm going to pop past the body. Then I'm going to, at the same time, I'm going to twist this And once it's kind of over that lip there, you're good. So now I'm gonna spin it all the way up. The white is now in the open position. So with that, you can now remove the barrel, and we're left with the husk. Alright, so this is a fun part here. You see this little trigger boy. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to push this pin out from this side actually. So push out the pin retaining the trigger and disconnect it from the linkage here. Get this guy out and then install the Super Sabra, or sorry, the Lightning bow. I'm going to uninstall, you see this spring here? That's going to retain the pin once it gets all said and done and in there. I'm going to remove this retaining screw first, get it out of there, and then we'll fucking go through it. Stand by. Fine. Oh, it's like that, is it? Good thing. I got Mjolnir here. You're ready for some absolute fucking fuckery. So here it is. I'm just keeping that in there so that spring in there doesn't just fucking fly off into another, never to be seen again. So this pointed edge is gonna go towards, you know, the safety like lever. That's how I remember it. So we're gonna set that aside for now. Gonna back this out, retain that spring, take that spring out or something, and just kind of fiddle fuck around in here. There it is. You won't need this again. I would save it just in case you have issues with your lightning bow trigger, just so you can properly install it again. However, at this time, we needn't worry. So there she blows. You know, actually in previous generations, in videos I'd seen, this was not like a one piece. So that's interesting to actually see. So now, get out of here. I'm gonna uninstall that there so I don't fuck it up. And I'm gonna play around with the adjustments. Oh, man, that's tiny as well. I'm gonna play around with the adjustments when it's in there to take the slack out, see how that helps. And you know, when you get in there, both these pieces are adjustable, the Super Sabra and the Lightning bow. Looks like that might be imperial, not metric, so just so you know. Haha, that was correct. That was a good assessment. So we're gonna back this all the way out. And while this is unsafe, that's when I'm gonna play with the little play in there. Take this guy out. I already can tell you this is gonna be a massive pain in my fucking ass. However, so now I'm just kind of getting it to that the trigger bar effectively. So close. There we go. She's in. So now it's in there. And remember what I said earlier, this point is gonna go through. And this is the fun part. So this little piece here is actually gonna like retain that divot, or that like a little indent, I guess, in the trigger pin. So I'm gonna put that in there, I'm actually going to use needle nose pliers because I ain't got time for all of that. Fuck off. I'm just going to put it in this little hole. This shit would be very difficult for you to see, but I don't know if you can see the little hole I'm putting it into. Oh, fuck you. There it is. Put my finger in there. And so I'm going to leave this in loosely and move around this pin until it effectively falls in there. Oh, there she is. So now you can see it. It fell in there. I don't know if I really showed you the baseline before, if you can even see that. But now, I'm gonna take this little guy, which is non-metric, mind you, put it on the end there. Get her lined up with that loose end. I'll tighten her up. There's barely any freaking play in that. I'm gonna adjust just a bit. There we go. So that there's no play in that really. And to do that, I just did the back spring. It's about flush with that. And that's how I'm gonna run it for a bit. I've heard a lot of people just not messing with it at all. But now that I am satisfied with that, we're gonna reassemble it. And bear with me, this is gonna be a long video, buddy. But we're going to reassemble. Set aside your old trigger. Set aside the old trigger spring. Oh, you're on my back. Fuck me. All right. Here we go. Fuck you. Put it in here. That's in there. So now I'm gonna lock it back. Remember to have your little punchy boy here and your little wrenchy boy here. Actually, I don't really need to fuck with the punch right now. Big little click, you know it's in there. So that's going nowhere. Also with this piece, when you go to install the fore end back on, you want to make sure that this is down. I'll show you in just a moment. Make sure that the hammerhead here, as they affectionately refer to it, is in the opposite direction of where you are installing your charging handle. And rearward, reset there. Make sure this is pointed down. That this is pointed down. Take this boy here. Just kind of take your time, nothing crazy. Make sure everything's aligned. She's in. I'm gonna put this, remember 3mm, in the right side of the weapon. Yes. Remember, I do not have the Super Sabra installed right now, so we're going to get the test with the Lightning bow and the stock pack after, of course. Fuck you. I get this bitch installed. Again, it's the stock trigger pack that's in there right now. So function check, charge it. The weapon is unsafe. I pull the trigger, nothing happens. Weapon off safe, pull the trigger, it happens. Sear resets, and again. And that does feel incredible, by the way. So now, let's get a little sample from, again, lightning bow trigger and stock box. You guys should have seen it. I had to take apart that whole bitch. But we're learning, alright? So that dropped it down to 4.14 for the first, which is pretty good for the stock box too. That's like 2 pounds off of just the stock trigger even. Alright. Reset. Second pull. I'm going to count that as an outline. 5 on that one. Again, got to make sure I'm getting like the same spot on this. We're getting 5.4 there. So that's pretty comparable to just like, what was it? That was the stock trigger and the Geissele box, the Super Sabra. So I'm just going to get one more. And 5.2. So we're looking at like around 5. That 4 was probably a little leverage there. So it's about 5 pounds. So for what that's worth. And that again is lightning bow trigger. It is set a little bit to have a little less of a wall there. So there's barely any wall. So I set it to, instead of being like a 2-stage, it's pretty much a 1-stage. So now I'm just gonna let it roll. But we're going to, again, for safety, set it on safe. I'm gonna take out the bolt. Also, something when you do find that you're replacing the, say you're putting the Super Sabra in, right? This door here, which is also the bolt catch, it has this like spring system there with a triangle at the end that goes up into the chamber. That might come undone on you. Not a big deal. Like if you look down in there, there's a little slot where it sits when you pull it back in. Drops right back in there. Punch check. Weapon on safe. Does not pull. Charge. Weapon on fire. Fires. Oh man, that's light. Reset. Oh my god. That's real nice. Oh god. So let's get this here, and then I'm gonna wrap her up, and we're gonna go shooting baby boys and girls. Just charge for old time's sake. Oh, 4.3 on that first one. 4.28 on that second one. And 4.56 on that one. So let me do some fucking shit. So you're looking at like 4.35 pounds on both the lightning bow trigger and the Super Sabra, which coming down from like 2 pounds off the trigger pull, and both are adjustable. I'm gonna call that a win. I also like where the 4-pound feels, so I'm not gonna really fuck with it more. But thanks for bearing with me. We're about to go have some fun. All right, y'all. Fuck those actually. All right, y'all. I'm gonna shoot this girl out. Just gonna do 2 mags. And a hot swap. Good to go. Let's get her. Breeze on. folks. Ooh. So that was the Jesus Christ. That was the installation of the lightning bow and the Super Sabra, and we'll fire test for you. Funny story about that. I went back to test the trigger after getting it rowdy and adjusting it just a little bit. It is real light. So the 4 pounds we were getting before, it's actually riding more around 3. So let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, first one, 2.36. 2.8. Hit this same spot this time. 2.98. And 3. So that one was an outlier. I think I was a little down on the trigger there. So yeah, it gets real light. So be careful with that if you're not accustomed to it, because I did kind of like go to intentionally mimic like a single stage, and I really like one at that. So part of the reason you're gonna have it 2 stages, so you have that wall for subsequent shots, yada yada. If you have an automatic weapon, it's just gonna be better for you to know before that wall breaks. Because mil spec, you're looking at like what we were issued was like 6 or more. So be careful. If you do go ahead and decide to do this installation, I'd recommend not actually adjusting. Just keep it how it is. Test it from there. If you have a trigger pull gauge, do so, and then just kind of fine tune it from there. 3 is gonna be okay for me, but it is real light. So, all right, good tidings and happy holidays. See y'all fuckers later.